Alright, so there's a couple of places you can actually do here. It's a high level. So you've got Throne of the Four Winds. And Alec here actually drops Drake of the South Wind on all difficulties. So he's the raid boss, and they're over on this side of the map. The other side of the map, it's around the Vortex Pinnacle. Tolvir and Halls of Origination don't drop any sort of rare farms, like no pets or mounts. But Vortex Pinnacle has got Drake at the North Wind. So I've been farming both of these for a little while now. By a little while, I mean on and off for a couple of years pretty casually. Among other things, and they just have been the things that haven't dropped yet. The other thing that can drop over at Vortex Pinnacle is Ishak. So there is another pillar over there, a bit like this one, because this is the entrance to the Throne of the Four Winds. There's a pillar just like this sitting out the front of Vortex Pinnacle. It's got a really high chance for Ishak to be up. So he's also can drop Drake of the Four Winds. So there's 3 of the Drakes of the Winds of the 5 are actually here in this zone. One of them's a rep grind at Tol Barad, and I can't quite remember what the other one was now. But this is pretty piss easy these days. Like, even if you're in your lower 60s, you pretty much two-shot all the bosses, any difficulty. I tend to run the highest difficulty because you're going to get the most drops. Not that it really matters, but it does give you a bit more in the way of gold. Oftentimes the loot in old dungeons and old raids is sort of fucked. Like, oftentimes the lower difficulties actually scale to player level up to a point, while the higher stuff, you know, really got gutted with the level scalings to sort of make it redundant in comparison to the next expansion's content. So I noticed when I was actually leveling characters through the 40s and 50s, doing the old raids, oftentimes the set pieces would be set at a really low item level like 40 or 50, but the actual rest of the supplementary pieces and equivalents were all dropping at, like, you know, into the 150s to 200s, like just below the level of start of Dragonflight gear for, you know, for Shadowlands ones, for instance, and BFA ones.
I need to get closer.
So no streamer luck today. Does give us a bit of gold. Let's go see if Ishak is up. Doesn't take long to head over. And I mean, you can actually do all the original Cataclysm, Uldum, and the Visions of N'Zoth Cataclysm bonus content, I mean, nowadays, because I mean, it's all going to be up. Just about. No one's really focusing on killing it, except for people that are kind of coming through to clear these 2 old instances and try and farm that rare spawn. Because there are actually, I think, camels you can get. As well as, yeah, an alpaca that you can feed 7 days in a row to get a mount. Somewhere else you could get a camel. Can't remember where that was. Someone else dropped a camel. So yeah, this is the pillar I was talking about. So Ishak will just be circling this, and if you want to get his attention, just land on the pillar and you'll pretty much be able to reach him. With sort of any range spell on the melee classes as well, or any range spell in general. He'll generally be up around here, while, you know, here's Vortex Pinnacle, another piss easy place to try and farm up a drop. I've actually been, yeah, working on this for a number of runs, let's just put it that way. So Drake at the north wind.
I don't have a target. I can't have that target.
Pretty much just Glock everything going through. And another pro tip with here. These volatile air, these days still sell for 10 to 12 gold a piece. And
Target something first.
it's not uncommon if you are dedicated farming this, like leaving a character here, farming up 5 or 10 resets in a row, logging, jumping on another character, or, you know, living your real life,
It's too far away.
and coming back, like I was doing with the monk for a while. It's not uncommon to build up somewhere between 500 to 1,000 volatile air. Now, when they're going for 10 to 12 gold a piece, and you're just sort of passively getting them while trying to farm up a, you know, a rare drop, it ends up being quite nice because it can contribute, you know, the gap between having a token and not, for instance. Really need to rebind Shadow Step. I've actually just sort of set up a whole bunch of characters as alts with the new expansion, so still actually getting used to what I want to lay out everything as. I'd sort of compacted a lot of my keybinds for like playing Windwalker Monk and Frost DK. And I'm finding that with some of the other specs I'm going to need to have a lot more stuff on an actual hotkey. So like I've done one run, not even halfway, not even completely there. About halfway through the actual dungeon and 2/3 of the way through the run I'm doing, because I only need to kill Altairus. Yeah, already got a stack of 20 of those, so that's, you know, 200 gold already. One-shotting things. And I suppose you can sort of minimalize how much you're stopping to attack, but I tend to just like going through the motions, killing the same shit. And look, like you can get stacks of like 10 volatile air at a time, so 100 gold basically. The drops you get now, they honestly vendor for less than they used to, I think. And you just need to kill this bad boy. Nothing special. But unfortunately no streamer luck there, so I'm gonna have to keep on farming him, I suppose. Not gonna sit here and do 10 runs and bore you guys to death. I think I'll just jump on my Demon Hunter. Come back to this another time. And yeah, while you're farming Vortex Pinnacle, it really gives you the opportunity to keep an eye on Ishak, and vice versa. Like if you're wanting to camp Ishak and you haven't already got the Vortex Pinnacle Drake, why not run the dungeon? So I think the two rare spawns sort of go hand in hand in that regard.